Bang, 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 connect.
All right, we're here with the man of many titles. He's the future mayor. He's the councilman. He's a father, husband, grandfather. About 4 to 5 years ago, we did an interview, martial arts related, where we talked about, being at this point, and we're here today. The new candidate running for mayor of East Orange, Ted Green. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Listen, we are very honored, man, to have the opportunity, man, for this interview, man. I thank you for that.
No, I thank you for your time. We know that, with time, is limited. So we're going to get right to it. Tell us exactly why you're running for office.
Well, first of all, I love this city. This is the city that has given me an opportunity to not only be where I'm at today, but a city that I grew up in, man, from grammar school, junior high school to high school, and I had an opportunity to come back after attending Cheney University. This city gave me my first job, summer job, here in the city of East Orange, and I'm very grateful, man, to be a public official here in the city of East Orange. When my parents moved here, I always say it was the greatest thing that happened to me as a young guy in this community. And this just shows, with hard work, living in the community and want to give back to the community, this is the piece right here where it's giving back to me now as running for elected official, and I'm very grateful for it.
Now, let's talk about, I'm not sure if a lot of people know about your history, but speaking of giving back, you owned the martial arts school in East Orange for over 10 years.
Well, more than that, man. We've been, Saldane and Eric is in their 30s, so over 27 years, man, because they was very young when they started. They're 7 and 8 years old.
So you're molding the future citizens of East Orange for over 27 years. We know you give back to the seniors with the snow removal.
Without a doubt.
We know you're doing the lawn, you're cutting lawns, you're doing everything. And all of this was way before you even thought about running for mayor. So, when people see you doing these things, you're not pandering to the public. This is something that you're passionate about.
Right. Well, when you love your community, man, you have a passion about not giving back and also helping, then you have a vision also with that. And my vision was to always make sure that I nurture my community. And how I did that is basically working with my seniors, working with the teenagers, and working with our youth. And all that stems from the martial arts training, because all of us are part of a community when we have businesses in certain municipalities and certain cities and certain towns. So that was my way of giving back, and also nurturing our young kids in terms of learning to teach cut grass as landscaping, remove snow removal, and it also put us back into the flow of giving back to our seniors, because we all know that our seniors have been the shoulders that all of us have stood on, and the sacrifices that they have given us, we owe it to our seniors. So I'm very happy and honored to be a part of that.
What do you think the biggest problem facing East Orange is that no one really talks about?
Well, there's several issues here in the city of East Orange, and honestly, folks have been talking about public safety. It's one of our biggest issues here in the city of East Orange, although our East Orange Police Department is doing a very good job here in the city of East Orange, but one of our largest issues have been public safety, has been education, has been economic development and job opportunities in our community. One of the biggest things that we haven't heard, even though we know that there's some trouble areas here, is our young people involved in some unlawful activities, but we are hearing public safety is the number one concern. And the other concern where you ask where people are not talking about, one would be the youth getting involved in these gang activities here in the city of East Orange.
Now, we've seen other municipalities, they've gotten new vehicles, they've gotten, as far as their CAD system or, the way that they report crime, it's improved. East Orange has been a little laxed or behind the eight ball. How do you plan on coming in as, the mayor and helping out public safety?
Right, good question, and thank you for that. You know, I could tell you, honestly, East Orange have been really on the forefront when it comes to technology. In 2006, 2007, when I took office, Mayor Robert L. Bowser, the current mayor, he put technology, brought the technology here in the police department, where we hired a guy named Kadera from New York. And East Orange have been leading the charge in really technology, but when I become mayor, my goal is to make sure that we add on to more technology. I want to make sure that we put walking patrolmen in throughout the city and in the parks and throughout the areas that's needed, and also making sure that the community comes out and get involved in what we're doing when it comes to public safety. But my number one priority in the city of East Orange will be making sure that we add on to the technology that we have here in the city of East Orange.
Well, we know you guys were pretty much the first city with shot spotters. And, you know, you guys also had the license plate readers.
Yes, sir.
But after that, we saw, you know, other townships and municipalities kind of leap ahead, you know,
Yes.
with having apps that you can report crimes, you know, do accident reports.
Right.
Do we see East Orange, you know, coming up into that new era, or maybe even surpassing those townships?
Without a doubt, you know, as the mayor of the city of East Orange, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we support and have all the tools that our first responders need, especially our police department, our fire department, making sure that they have everything that they need to make sure they keep this community safe day in and night.
Now, let me stay on the topic of public safety. What seems to, and I'm speaking from the public standpoint, what
Right.
seems to plague a lot of departments is that a lot of these guys are tenured. They're, you know, the rank and file are older. We saw where in Irvington, they kind of changed that, and
Yes,
you know,
sir.
they brought in, you know, a youthful police director, somebody that, you know, came in with the times. He brought in a bicycle patrol and things of that nature. Do you see yourself changing the rank and file in the police department, or staying with the same?
Well, right now, you know, I always tell folks we got to get past this June 6th election. And what I'm going to be doing, along with my administration, along with our transitional team, when we get there to that process, we're going to be reassessing what our vision is for the city. You know, every mayor comes in with what they want their vision to be. So once we get to that, we're going to take strong aggressiveness in terms of making sure that the people who are experienced are in place. But I can tell you this, is that when it comes to East Orange Police Department and Fire Department, some of our veteran officers and firefighters we need in place, because they are the ones to really teach our younger people how the ropes are when it comes to public safety. So again, we need to look at that, reassess it, and look at that, what we need and what we don't need. But right now, like I said, I'm ready just to get past June 6th, and we're going to take a strong role in making sure that we put the proper people in the proper places.
Okay. Now, I believe it was the Bible that said that, you know, it was old men for counsel, young men for war. Do we see you guys actually bringing in, you know, younger officers? We've seen, you know, now with the way that civil service is taking on, guys are going through alternative routes just to get onto the police department. Do we see you guys actually hiring more police officers?
Well, without a doubt, we have to look at your budget. And when you look at your budget gives you an idea, because that's your blueprint of your financial situation in any municipality. So once we look at the budget and see that it's fitting, of course we want to welcome new police officers, men and women. Of course we want to welcome firefighters, men and women. So again, yes, we are looking to increase our police department and our fire department, and we want young people who live in this community, who go to high school here and don't decide to go to college, to get involved into a civic career. We welcome that, because who knows the community better than somebody that lives here and grew up here?
And who's better to be the mayor than somebody that?
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Now, what do you think the city's biggest financial challenge is now, and how do you plan on addressing it?
So, and I'm glad you asked that question. You know, we have challenges, because when you look on the state level, what our governor is trying to cut when it comes to funding, when it comes to education, when it comes to Meals on Wheels for seniors, when it comes to CDBG grant programs, all that triggers down to the local level and the local government. So what we have to do as a municipality and as the legislators, if those programs are cut and if those different CDBG programs are cut, we have to find money to make up for that, because there's plenty of people that work under CDBG funds. So we're hoping and rolling up our sleeves and making sure that we are more proactive than anything. So again, we are at the cutting edge of making sure that as a council that we look at that and make sure that we're on top of it if it happens. So cuts are always crucial to any municipality, because nobody wants to lose services. Nobody want to not have the garbage picked up. Nobody not want to have recycling. Nobody don't want to have different services cut. So that is crucial in the budget.
Now, for the first time in in my, let's say, my young years, I can see where basically all four corners we have African American leadership.
Yes, sir.
From Orange to now East Orange, Irvington, Newark, where at one time it was basically an Italian run.
Without a doubt.
So what do we see you guys coming together to kind of combat? Because, sometimes we see where in Newark, the crime may spike, where in East Orange, for whatever reason, your officers are adamant about, keeping that crime rate down. Do we see you guys doing a border patrol, as we have seen Irvington and Newark participating in it? Do we see East Orange participating also?
Without a doubt, man. I'm looking forward to, man, not in January the 1st, man, hitting the ground running with my administration, with my staff. And not only that, meeting with the urban mayors, the mayors from Newark, Raspberry Rocker, Tony Voss, who was a very good friend of mine, Dwayne Warren, and any other elected official that really wants to make a change in their community. I want to be a part of that positiveness, and that's what partnership is, because we all border each other's towns somewhere. Newark borders East Orange, Irvington borders Newark, Orange border East Orange and South Orange. So we all have to come together collectively if we're going to talk about public safety, because guess what? All of us is threatened by sometimes public safety. So guess what? We work together and sharing ideas and sharing methodologies. I believe that we can get some of this crime and some of the statistics under a level where we all be happy and proud.
What do you think the city is spending too much money on now? And what don't you think they're spending enough money on?
Well, I can't say that we're spending too much on anything right now, because being the chairman of the East Orange City Council, who just deliberated over the budget, we are looking at how to do more with less. So we're at the level where we're doing everything we need to make sure that the citizens of this great city of East Orange, the 65,000 residents of this town, at this 3.9 square miles, get what they pay for, man. Because they are tax-paying people. You have people who rent apartments here, and we want to do everything we can to make sure they get the buck for their dollar.
Okay. Now, you spoke about East Orange giving you your first opportunity for employment. Right now, what programs do you see yourself creating to basically offer more opportunities for the youth? We had Speedy, years ago, and that kind of dissolved. Where do we see, kids getting that opportunity to learn, banking, law enforcement, like you said, firefighting, anything, those careers? Because I don't even think they have those in school anymore.
Right. So, and again, man, these are great questions, man, because right now in the city of East Orange, we just did our summer employment. And right now, I think we hired close to 300 to 400 kids. I'm looking at under my administration when I become mayor, man, we want it up to 1,000. We're going to find ways within individuals that do business here in the city of East Orange, individuals who are benefiting from the city of East Orange. We're going to make sure that those folks also who doing business here, that they have to give back. They have to hire our young people after school. They have to make sure that our young people are afforded the opportunities that was given to me and mostly my friends. So we're going to make sure that we meet with the business owners, the building owners, developers, contractors, private owners here in the city of East Orange, and make sure that all of those folks understand what our vision is and how we're going to engage together in moving the city forward. Listen, opportunities came my way, man, and not a time that I came home from Cheney University that I didn't have a summer job. It's because the programs was here. And listen, we have to work not only here in the city of East Orange, but I'm looking to work with other municipalities too, because there may be some job opportunities in Newark. There may be some job opportunities in Irvington or Orange that we can kind of work together and say, hey man, we got a young lady that type and she's into IT. Well, I need somebody. That's partnership, and that's what I'm looking at. You know, listen, man, we're building bridges, man. And we're building the bridges where we learn how to communicate, learn how to talk, because right now with the 4 black mayors in place now, we should not be able to not allow each other to communicate with each other, work with each other, in partnership with each other. And I'm looking forward to that.
Now, you seem to be running an old school campaign. We saw where Cory Booker ran a campaign where he used Twitter. Other mayors, even Roz came out, he was mostly on Facebook and had people throwing up peace signs after they voted for him. You haven't really used social media as a platform. Can you tell us why?
No, but we do have social media, and you'll see in a minute what we're doing. We run a very strategic campaign under our chairman, Leroy Jones, but also Rashid is doing a fantastic job. Basically, we go piece by piece when it comes to this campaign. We've been out every morning at the Dunkin' Donuts and the 7-Elevens. Then we went from that, we shift from the Dunkin' Donuts, 7-Eleven to now we at the schools each morning. Then we switch in the afternoon, we go to the business district and we walk the business district. This evening we are out in the wards, knocking on doors, talking to the residents and the constituents in this community. Our Twitter account is up, our email is up, our website is up. And you'll see in a minute, we're going to be all over, just like you see the commercials when you go on your website and Phil Murphy pops up. Yeah. You'll start seeing that in a minute. Because now we're at the last 3 to 4 weeks of the campaign, and we are turning it up. But really, make no mistakes about it, I have name recognition in this community. And when you have name recognition, we're just basically telling people about our platform. We want people to know that we're concerned about public safety, economic development. We're concerned about education. We're concerned about recreation departments. We're concerned about our young people having lawful recreation activities in the community. We're concerned about our young people and teenagers getting involved in training and apprenticeship programs. So we're doing a full blast press right now when it comes to this campaign.
Now, you spoke about Phil Murphy and he's running for governor. Do we see you guys working hand in hand right now if he's elected? And, once you get elected, do we see you guys working hand in hand? And what do we see coming down from Trenton that basically, assist East Orange in, rebuilding?
Well, earlier when you heard me say it's about partnerships, what we do believe is that Phil Murphy sharing the same visions that we share. We believe that as him being the chief and commander of the state, it gives East Orange opportunities such as other local municipalities to have relationships. So when there's money in the state, we're able to give Phil Murphy a call or give somebody a call and say, listen, we need some grant money. There's some state aid money that we can go after. We want to go after that. So we believe that Phil Murphy is going to be a friend to East Orange. He's going to be a partner at East Orange, and he's going to help East Orange grow. And as the mayor, I'm looking forward and working with him. But not only that, man, we have a great relationship with Sheila Oliver, which is our assemblywoman, and Tom Gibberlin, who has been very good to East Orange also, who is a union guy. And then we have Neil Gill, who has been a strong advocate, man, for housing and healthcare and education. And these are folks that I have gotten to know and work with over the years, because in any municipal government, you have to have those relationships, because if you don't, it somehow affects your municipality. And that's what we don't want.
Okay. Now, do you think that your style of leadership is what East Orange has been missing? And this is no pot shot at the sitting mayor, but do you feel like there needs to be a change of guards? Do you feel like you're what the city has been missing and needs at this point in time?
Well, you know, my governor is kind of a different style. I'm one of the guys I always say to folks, I'm not going to have the long speeches. I'm not going to have the big words. But guess what? I'm going to roll up my sleeves and we're going to get out here and get things done. But I can tell you one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to put smart people around me like anybody should do, and they're going to work. Because guess what? When they're shining, it makes the mayor shine. And we're going to work together. And we're all going to do it. Listen, I said it the other night that I'm going to be the mayor who get up at night, call my director or my chief and tell them to bring a car around, and I'm going out with you. DPW, I'm going out with you. When they're doing paving and milling, I'm putting on my boots, putting on my jeans. I want to see what y'all doing. Property maintenance, the inspectors, the mayor's going out with y'all today. I'm going to be a hands-on mayor, but I'm not going to be a mayor that, like as they say, a dictator. That's not my style. I'm more of an individual. I want to get the job done. Let's get the job done. Forget the talking, forget what you didn't do, let's get it done.
So you're not micromanaging, but you're there.
But people gonna do their job, believe that. You know, we're gonna have a staff in place, to me, that's gonna be hopefully second to none, and making sure that they are driving what our charges are as being elected officials and as being the administration. We're gonna be accessible. We're going to get back to people when they call my office, and my chief of staff, making sure he or she do what they have to do, and our aides to the mayors. We're going to work, man. And I think the most important thing is when you have people that really love this city, people who grew up in this city, people who have a passion for redevelopment and job opportunities and working with ex-offenders and working with young people who have gotten in trouble and want to come back to our community and do better. That's the administration we're going to be, man.
Now, with the school systems, and there seems to be a problem that plagues urban areas. School systems seem to be that, you know, really better seems to be a bus ride away. You know, the urban areas seem to have real lackadaisical, just, you know, school boards, school systems. And then, you know, you take the 31 to maybe Millburn or, you know, another township, and they're blue ribbon schools. How do you plan on, you know, affecting change in that area?
Wow, and I'm glad you asked that question. It's a good question because we have been having conversations about our education system here. You know, I can tell you this, man. I know for a fact we got great teachers here in the city of East Orange. We have 22 schools here in the city of East Orange. We have 3 high schools in here, and we have the rest are elementary school. And we have what we call fresh start schools for kids who have gotten in trouble and got to get back on the mainstream. But I do believe, man, just as well as people talk about STEM Academy and people talk about Sissy Tyson School of Performing Arts, we want folks to talk about Campus High School the same way. We want people to talk about Langston Hughes and Benjamin Banner and all other 17 schools, because as the mayor, people buy into how well your schools are performing when they buy in your community, when they purchase houses. First thing people want to know, how's the education system? And I want to be a mayor to say to a person, listen, all 22 of our schools are blue ribbon and green ribbon schools. All of our schools are thriving. You don't have to worry about your son or daughter going to school and individuals are at a level where they're being bothered. Mm-hmm. We're going to step our game up. I'm going to have a relationship with board members. I'm going to have a relationship with our local unions. As a matter of fact, we just had the East Orange Education Association union endorse me. And for years, they really haven't endorsed candidates because they really feel that I have been on the forefront with them. I have been in the schools. I've been working with the young people in the schools and through martial arts also. So that's going to be another priority in terms of meeting with the Board of Education, the board members, and appointing people on the board who really have a genuine concern about our young people and about the education of young people and our teenagers in here in the city of East Orange. I believe that we have a superintendent right now. To me, Dr. West has been doing an outstanding job, but he can't do it by himself. And I say this all through the campaign, we have to come together because as a mayor, I can't stand on an island by myself. As a superintendent, he can't stand on an island by himself. It's what you call a partnership and engaging.
Now, we see that you were also endorsed by the police department. And, unfortunately, in your position, everybody's not going to like the decisions that you make. One of the big issues with politics right now is the body cameras. A lot of officers are totally against it. A lot of politicians are for it because they feel like, it's full disclosure. What's your take on it right now?
Well, I think that's when you come in, man, and have to make sound decisions with your director or your chiefs, and you meet with the union folks and see what's the best practice for the city of East Orange. But I can tell you, man, we have the body cameras now, and police officers are wearing them. And I do believe that it keeps us safe, it keeps our police officers safe, and it gives us an idea when things are happening out there, what happened. So I don't, I haven't heard it yet here in the city of East Orange that it was a bad thing. But I do believe that there's always room for improvement when it comes to our police officers. And guess what? We want to also make sure that our citizens feel safe. When a police officer roll up, stop them, or have a discussion with them, making sure that police officer is doing everything he can professionally, and making sure that the citizen feel, you know what? That officer did everything he's supposed to do, and he did it in a professional manner. If not, the body cameras help us to help other people.
Okay, now we've seen in Newark where there's a resurgence of downtown. Between the NJ-PAC, the Starbucks, they're bringing in a lot of new clientele of business, with Blaze and other places like that. You have Shaquille O'Neal building apartment complexes downtown, and even a Whole Foods. Do we see you bring that type of revival to East Orange?
Oh, without a doubt, man. Right now we have close to $600 million in private and public money that has been invested here in the city of East Orange. My goal is, as the mayor of the city of East Orange, I want $1 billion. We're looking at Main Street. We're looking at Central Avenue. We're looking at the lower part of Main Street. We're looking at development throughout this city to bring in all those tools and all those businesses that we see other municipalities, because we feel that why do we have to go outside of East Orange to eat? Why do we have to go outside of East Orange to shop? We are going to drive redevelopment in this community. We're going to drive job opportunities and work with our local unions who come in and get these jobs. We're going to be on the forefront just like any other municipality when it comes to development, when it comes to new businesses coming in here. And my administration is going to work hard at that, because we already have been working hard, because as the council and the chair, we have what we call redevelopment meetings. And the chairman, which is a gentleman who's running for re-election, Ramar Bullock, has been doing an outstanding job trying to make sure that he has his meetings and that he steer redevelopment here in the city of East Orange.
Okay, so we'll definitely see those big corporations, basically trying to bring those jobs and those opportunities here in East Orange.
Yeah, listen, without a doubt, I think one thing about it, man, is that when you come in office and you look at your personnel around you, there's going to be people and individuals that's going to be a part of my administration that's going to be able to go into a room with those big corporations and tell them why they should invest in East Orange. And I believe that we're going to have the capacity of folks to do that. And we look forward. I mean, our residents of this city deserve that. People deserve that. Our folks who have invested in this community, who have stayed in this community, or want to come to East Orange, they deserve no other than the best when it comes to restaurants, when it comes to boutiques and clothing stores. We want the same things that other municipalities do. Look at Milburn. They're doing it. Look at Maplewood. You go to Montclair in the summer, everybody's sitting out on Bloom Friday. We want people to come to East Orange when they leave Orange and make sure that we're sitting out at Cigar Bar and that you hear a little jazz and music. But guess what? I know for a fact we can do it, because the vision of East Orange and the expectations that I have for this city, I'm looking forward to it. But it has to be a joint venture.
All right, we have a couple more questions. Parking seems to be a big issue, not only for visitors, but also for those that live here in the city, where, you either have to pay the city for a permit, or, if you don't if you don't register overnight, you're getting a ticket. Do we see that changing? Do we see you implementing maybe a parking or a parking division within the police department that goes out and does that? What do we see the changes being with that?
So listen, man, I can tell you in 2007, what we did is basically we did an assessment. There was quite a few residents complaining about parking, which in the city of East Orange, there's no overnight parking. And we know that things have changed, man. The world's changing, cities are changing, people are having more cars now. Because you think about 40 years ago when we was coming up, or 50 years ago, you probably had one car in the family, or two cars. Your mother drive or your dad drove. None of us was driving. But now, everybody's driving. So what we're doing a reassessment, because we do have something in place for overnight parking with a permit, but we're finding through our walks throughout the city and our engagement with people are still a little unhappy. So we have to go back to the drawing board, reassess what we need to do in terms of alternate street parking. Maybe on a Wednesday and Monday you park on one side, maybe on Tuesday, Thursday, and then we got to reassess how we clean the streets, because the biggest problem is that East Orange, we clean the streets at night from 2 in the morning to 6. That's why you have those signs. So guess what? We have to be able to catch up with time. We have to be able to do that, and we have to be able to adjust. And that's what we're going to do. I'm hoping in the beginning of my administration that we able to sit down with the council and those who clearly understand it, DPW, and zoning, and see how we can help facilitate relieving some of our residents here in the city of East Orange collectively and work together. But that is a problem.
Now with East Orange, do you guys actually have, do your DPW actually, do you guys do the garbage pickup, or is that a private contractor?
We have private pickup. But I think that, and they're doing a good job, but again, there's a lot of things that we have to look at in the city of East Orange. Because we have, East Orange is a very unique city, man. We have our own water department. We have our own golf course that we put hundreds and millions of dollars in to get that going, which we want East Orange residents to get involved and go up there and golf. We want our young people to get involved in first tee. We got a water department that was in a little trouble, where we got commissioners who went there and really got us back on track. Now we're doing good. We're not in the red anymore. We're in the black. So we have some valuable entities here right in the city of East Orange that we're very proud of. And guess what? With all of those things, I do believe that we can be a city second to none. And we're looking forward to that. But the parking is a issue that we have to look into even more.
Now, one of your residents, their biggest issue is that there's a lot of dilapidated buildings in the area. What do you plan to do about that, as far as getting, the owners of those buildings, to either fix it or, to get rid of it completely?
Yeah, one thing about, East Orange don't have a really whole lot, and when we had the foreclosure piece that came down, in different municipalities and urban communities, most people will holler out like, "Oh, it's the council fault, it's the mayor fault," but it's really not. When that situation happened, it happened because the banks target people that really could not afford these houses. They went after them. Then what they did is put these people in secondary mortgages, and they knew they couldn't afford the mortgage. So most people will blame the council, but we are dealing with that foreclosure piece here. East Orange has had a very effective role in vacant and abandoned properties from our property maintenance department, and we have taken a very aggressive role in going after landlords, going after the banks. So we are still in that cluster of driving that and holding these banks accountable, keeping those properties clean. And what's so good about it, I know about property maintenance because I'm the director over in Irvington, in property maintenance. So folks can't tell me anything about code enforcement or why they don't have to clean up their property. No, you do have to clean up your property. But we do have something in place right now. We want to increase that, enhance it, but also we want to work with people. listen, if they're cleaning up and they're taking care of that property, our goal is to try to sell that property, put people in that property, and beautify our community.
So do we see maybe low income families will be able to afford those properties and maybe get loans from, maybe banks that are in East Orange, partnering up with the city?
Well, good question, because you hear it every time our candidate for governor talk about having private banks, where cities have their own banks where they invest in their community, which I think is a good thing. So we want to be a part of that. Listen, man, we want our young people and people that want an opportunity to own a home. We want that to happen. Listen, I had an opportunity to own a home. There's some people that never owned a house because they didn't have the opportunity. And we want to be a city to provide different avenues, working with banks, working with different first-time home buying programs. We want to give people the same dream that we talk about, that white picket fence and that house. We want to afford people those opportunities. So without a doubt, man. And listen, again, I always talk about administration that understands that. Those are people we bring in and know how to get it done. And we have to work with other people to get that done. Yeah.
All right, so last question is, you being the representative of the Third Ward, you being the basically like, the crown prince of this particular area, who do you see replacing you? Because, now that you're responsible for the whole city, who's going to take over for those seniors and make sure that those driveways are shoveled and, the lawns are cut?
Listen, I get that question asked to me quite frequently, right? So one of the things we're going to do, but I can tell you, the gentleman who is running in the Third Ward is going to make an outstanding councilman. I believe that him and I worked together for years, even though sometimes we was on the opposite sides. But that's when you come together and say the betterment of this community. Bert Linus is going to be an excellent councilman. He's going to be the first Haitian American to run for office here in the Third Ward as a candidate. He ran before against me.
Well, we know how what those results were. Speaking of that, we've seen that in Newark. Newark has made themselves a safe haven with the current leadership or the POTUS requesting that ICE, go out and basically detain a lot of illegal immigrants. Do you see yourself making East Orange also a safe haven?
Well, we already sanctuary city, man. I want to really thank Chris James, who really took the lead role in bringing the information down from the state. And we was probably one of the first cities to adopt sanctuary cities, because we believe that folks should not be separated from their families, because honestly, man, the immigration population has been really, have done well in this community. They have been contributed to this community. And me as a man and as a father and a grandfather, I don't want to see no folks separate their families, man. So guess what? We look at protecting folks in our community, and that's what we did. And we want to make sure that if it's a process, that it's a due process. But we wanted to make sure to say to folks who are the immigration family that, listen, East Orange is on the forefront of supporting you and your families here in the city. So we have done that.
Now, we've seen where you've done an expungement seminar for those that, may have messed up in the past, have a criminal record. Do we see you maybe doing a seminar for,
citywide
for immigrants that, may need some assistance?
Hey, man, listen, folks live in this community, and if we can help them and provide opportunities to help them get back on track, we're for it. And I'm going to definitely continue that. And also, I just want to kind of revisit when we talked about the snow removal and the grass cutting. What we're going to do is try to find different funds, if we can, and take that program to our local high schools and start working with our mentorship programs in the high schools and making sure that those young men and young ladies that have to do community service, that be a part of their community service. And also enabling them to give back to our young people. Yes.
We were told that, a happy wife, is a happy life. As a councilman and as, a martial arts instructor, your time at home is limited. How do you plan on making Miss June happy when you become the mayor?
My wife with me. Take out the egg. You know, listen, when in this type of business, I always say that you have to have a partnership. But I always say that I brought into this. You know, I always tell my sons that when it came to being an elected official, I really brought into this. But the support of them is so important, man. And to be honest with you, my wife has been very supportive, and always, she don't, listen, man, when you got a partner that understands, it always helps, man, because it makes your day go a little better. And when you go home, you're going home to a peaceful situation. And I think it's good, man, and she does understand how important being involved in this community. And not only that, man, we have a charge through God, really, man, humanity, to give back to humanity and do something while you're on this earth. So she gets it and understands it, and she's participating even more than ever. I mean, she always did it with the karate school, and sometimes this thing can be overwhelming, but you know what, we have good wives and good people who really support what we do, and I got a good supporting team around me, man. A lot of the individuals that you see coming here and that's walking with us, I really commend them, man, because really they keep me on my toes and keep my P's and Q's going, because they there. And when I'm falling a little, they check me and tell me, hey, and that's what friends do, man. When you're going a little to the left or too far to the right, they bring you right back to the center. So my wife, she's 100% behind me, man. Matter of fact, she's doing along with some other women for Ted Green, so she happy. Plus she won a pocketbook the other day at one of the affairs, and what is it, Michael Kors?
Nice.
Yeah, bro, I was happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
It worked out for your pockets too, right?
It worked out for my pockets, and it's Short Hills Mall,
Nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is we're going to speak it into existence. 5 years ago, we talked about it in a martial arts interview. Today, we're here talking about it again. This is the future mayor, the sitting mayor of East Orange, and hopefully the next time when we talk, talking about you being a governor.
Well, no, let's get to the mayor first. Listen, that's a rough seat, boy, with the governor and all. Listen, I'm just grateful, man, to have this opportunity today, man, that you interviewed me and give folks an opportunity to really know who Ted Green is and how much I love this city and how much I'm committed and really dedicated to a city, man, like I always say, man, that gave me an opportunity, man. This city gave me an opportunity to be where I'm at. And along with the Essex County Democratic Party, man, because we're a team, and I'm very humble and grateful that opportunity has been given to me, man. And listen, man, when things like this happen to me, I have to show people that I'm serious about this job, because we have a budget of $135 million budget that I have to oversee with 65,000 people in this community that's looking at me and my administration. And then you got some people out there who want to see us kind of fail, but we're not going to let that happen, because guess what? We're going green in 2017. And green is very environmental friendly.
It is. Well, that budget of $135 million, let's see how many of us could reach out to Ted Green, see if we get a job with that $135 million. we just want six figures, that's all.
Well, we got some folks to really get involved in your community, get involved in helping our young people, get involved in sharing your ideas and your thoughts. We have many people in here in our city of East Orange who are retired doctors, retired lawyers, retired engineers, retired karate teachers. We got many people. Come on back out. You got to give your support back. Give your mentorship, and we're gonna be pushing that mentorship in City of East Orange. Because guess what? Everything ain't always about a job. If you believe in the community and you believe in our kids, because guess what? We're no different than any urban community where we need a little help. Mm-hmm. So we asked some folks to come on out and join us in what we call this green team. There's some fantastic things that's going to happen here in the city of East Orange, and I am excited to be the next mayor of the city of East Orange on June 6th. Please come out to vote.
All right, and if you have any ideas, if you want to volunteer, if you want to help out, it's 120 Rhode Island Avenue, right next to the karate school.
Right, and also we have another headquarters on Main Street. What's the address, Latifah, on Main Street?
386.
386 Main Street. Okay.
We got everybody really supporting this cause. They feel that the energy in this city is changing. They feel that the government is a government for the people and for the people, man.
And we just lost at least 15 pounds in this hot room. So we're gonna open this door.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Sean.
Yes, sir.